thank you very much for talking to us, Nadine. I think anyone that probably has already read your article struggled not to laugh through it, and anyone that's not had a baby yet might have had their illusion shattered
or
a little
don't want
bit.
the baby anymore.
Or doesn't want the baby. Yeah, is it too late to change my mind? Where did you get your ideas from about, or your ideals from, about breastfeeding? The first part of your story, the nice 3 a.m. cookies.
I think mainly commercials and movies where, you know, you get the baby from the cot, they're like still in their sleep, and then you walk to the nursing chair, maybe the sunlight coming in, having this nice little glow on the mother's face, and then you have that little smiley baby, and you just have this feeling that breastfeeding is so natural and just so easy because you have the breast, you have the baby, you just take it out and there you go. Yeah, that's where I had all this expectation
So it was Hollywood.
Hollywood,
yeah. Any friends or family or prenatal classes that had spoken to you about breastfeeding?
I did do a prenatal class. They talked about breastfeeding, like certain like mastitis that you can get if you have oversupply, but not really the small issues.
The logistics.
Yeah, the logistics, the messiness. That it's just not as happy as they show in commercials.
Yeah. Would it have been better if they did?
I think also yes. Definitely, if you have a bit of a idea that you could have certain issues, problems. And also like talking to friends, it's never about breastfeeding. It's more about the baby and you get no sleep and this and that, but no one really talks about this. Maybe it's more of a taboo topic. You don't really talk about getting your boob out or what problems you might face. But I think that would have helped.
Would have helped a little bit. Feel at least a bit more prepared.
Yeah.
To be unprepared.
Yeah. To be unprepared.
And so you went to some prenatal classes at Mother and Child?
No, I went... I think it was organized by Thompson Medical.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not where you delivered?
No.
No.
That's not where I delivered.
Ah, okay. And so, talking now about the realistic breastfeeding story, part 2 of your story. So you mentioned when you go into baby's room. So is your baby sleeping with you?
He's sleeping with me.
Okay. So, and is that in a crib? Or like a side sleep? In a crib.
In a crib, his own crib. Yeah.
So you have to get out of bed.
I have to get out of bed and basically lean over, pick him up. Yeah.
Okay, and then you take him somewhere else, or you try? Yeah.
So from the room, I would take him to the living room, to the nursing chair, where I will.
Oh, which I'm sat on.
Yes.
Hopefully, my milk supply stays in while I'm in this magical chair.
Yeah, correct. I change room.
And that happens. Okay, so you have that little bit of distance to try and get him there quickly before he starts screaming.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And do you know when he's going to wake up? You said you've had your little baby wriggling around all night. You kind of know.
Because the babies, they have a sleep cycle of 45 minutes. Okay. And then every 45 minutes, they kind of wake up or have a light sleep phase where they start to wiggle and kick, and then they fall back into the sleep phase or don't fall back and wake up. So always a light sleep phase, you hear them moving, making noise, and you always kind of wake up every 45 minutes to see, can he bring himself back to sleep, or is that it?
Is that it for you? And do you both wake up, or does your husband manage to sleep soundly through it?
Or the thing is, we sleep actually separate because he's snoring.
Not because of the breastfeeding, because of his snoring.
Nothing to do with the breastfeeding, because he's snoring. So I can't take both of them.
Yeah, can't have a wriggly cry baby and a snoring husband. So you're just, and do you think your body now just is on high alert? Like you would wake up regardless of if he was wriggling?
Absolutely, yes.
Just
sometimes I wake up and I think I hear him screaming. He's actually sleeping. You're just on such a high alert non-stop. If everything is right with your baby, if he sleeps more than 2 hours, you're like, oh my God, is he still alive?
Check his breathing. That's been a common theme amongst all new parents. They're like, the baby's fine. It's me. I can't handle.
Yes, absolutely. I also have problems going back to sleep after he's actually quite, he's drinking fast, 5 minutes, falls back immediately. I'm the one having the problem afterwards, like 1 hour, I can't sleep. Yeah.
So the actual time, so he's breastfeeding for only about 5 minutes?
Yeah, then he usually falls asleep.
So does that mean that he's hungry? As in, is he doing it for comfort or is he doing it for hunger?
Sometimes comfort, but mostly hunger.
And he's just good at getting out
quick.
Yes,
he's very quick.
And it just means your flow is
very fast.
Which is the letdown. That brings me on to the letdown.
Yes.
Let's talk letdown, because That amused me as well. I just had I was just imagining like, you know, like a sprinkler system.
It is
coming out of your boob.
It is actually, and I also, that's the thing. No one ever talked about letdown, and I never heard about it. And it's really going in different directions. And it's like, wow! I call
From
my husband.
multiple ports.
Yes, I tell my husband, babe, did you see that? It sprayed over. It's really, yeah, crazy.
And so the boob that you're feeding on, are we talking about the other boob that's not being, that's the letdown?
Or it actually, the letdown happens in both.
Okay.
But so once he's feeding, the other one is flowing away. But also sometimes if the flow is too fast for him, he's very happy right now. If the flow is too fast for him, he lets go, and then it shoots out. Okay. So actually on both sides you have a sprinkler.
So you've got a sprinkler on both. And on the other side that you're not feeding on, do you have a containment system for that milk?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have something called Haka, which is a silicone pump, which kind of collects it, and because of the vacuum, it stays there.
Okay.
But I also had days where I just put some kind of bowl underneath and hold it with
like
my
a
hand.
cow.
Yes, I feel like a cow. I'm always telling my husband, "Oh, I'm gonna be a milk cow again."
A milk cow. Okay, but the Hackers work, because I've actually bought a Hacker because it got recommended to me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's good.
It's pumping as much as a manual pump on the other side.
Right.
Yes.
And then you can use that milk later on for extra feeds and things like that.
So when the letdown comes, I collect it and I store it in the fridge to collect everything and then freeze it. I have a freezer full of I don't know how many liters of milk.
Really? But that will come in really useful for times when maybe you can't breastfeed it.
Correct. Or I use it actually for his bath because it's really good for the skin. They even say some women put it on their own face. It helps with the eyes. You look like you have awesome nights of sleep.
So you can trick people into thinking you
I
slept.
never tried it, but apparently it's very good for
Oh, it could be new kind of Botox, natural Botox. Yeah. You could sell it. Nadine's boob milk. They put it in ice cream.
I can sell you some.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe next time. Okay, that's interesting. And so with the Hacker, because the one thing I wasn't sure about, I bought the Hacker and a lid.
I don't have the lid.
Don't have it. Well, I heard that it wasn't necessary, but anyway, I've bought so many things that aren't necessary.
Oh yes, that's normal.
Why not waste a bit more money? Do you then put that into like one of the breast milk collection packet things?
Exactly.
And for each feed, do you have to use a new one? Or can you, like, for the course of the day, you like open it up and put it in? And
I open it. So I store it in a small container first, which I also sterilize and collect different feeding sessions. And then once enough, I pour it into the bag and put it in the freezer.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I was thinking. If you just do it every time, you just got like a small amount of it away, and it's bad for the environment.
Yes.
When you're using everything else with a baby, that's bad for the.
So over a 24-hour period, it's safe to put it in a fridge and to collect.
Okay.
But it has to be the same temperature. So you can't put the warm milk from your breast immediately into the cold milk. So just store it separate, and at the end of the day, you put everything together.
Ah, very good. And then you've got a good bag of milk for a rainy day.
Correct.
Or a day when you need wine.
Yes. Correct.
And does he take a bottle now?
So we started to feed him a bottle once a day to get used to it. Currently he has a phase where he doesn't like it at all. The last 3-4 days he refused to take it.
Because he just loves the boobie.
He loves his boobie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just different.
Even if it's meant to be natural, it isn't. It's not the same, right?
It's not the same.
Okay.
And I also have to say it's more natural to breastfeed, because if I give him the bottle, first you have to pump it, you need to store it, you need to wash, you need to sterilize, you need to heat it up. It's so much easier if you just feed from the breast.
Especially when you're on the go, I guess, because you've got it with you. Yes. But then the one advantage would be that Eddie, your husband,
can feed.
And has that been successful? Has he had a few successful attempts? Yeah,
he did. So he did take the bottle pretty well. It's only the last few days we think he has a growth spurt, or he was a bit sick. So yeah.
Any number of reasons can make them.
Anything.
Yeah. And we talked earlier, we didn't manage to catch it on audio, about porn star boobs, engorgement and things like that. Can you talk me through whether that's not a problem for you now? It's normally something that happens.
I still have a problem.
Oh, still got a problem with porn star booze.
I can play porn star any day. Immediately or shortly after I got back from the hospital, it basically started that the milk kicked in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're very engorged, very hard breasts, and the milk starts kicking in. So I even have to pump first, because otherwise he can't even latch, because it's so hard that he can't get a grip. So that's, I think, pretty normal for all moms when the milk kicks in. But for me, because I had the oversupply, even now, if he does sleep longer than 4 or 5 hours, it happens for me again, and I need to pump. So even if he sleeps 12 hours, I do need to pump once or twice.
So you have to wake up anyway.
I have to wake up anyway.
12 hours sleep for you anymore.
No, there's not.
And is the Hacker good for that, or do you have to use another pumping machine?
So I use on one breast the manual pump and the other the Hacker.
Okay.
And
And you haven't tried the electric pumps that
not
they
yet.
sell?
I'm considering when I go back to work, but right now manual is doing just fine.
Is getting enough. Yeah. I saw the electric ones. I mean, they look fancy, but I thought I'm not going to spend. They're so expensive.
They're
of course.
very expensive.
I thought I might not even be able to breastfeed, so I'm not going to buy one before the baby even comes.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hacker's about $30. I was like, okay, well, if I can't make that work, that's okay.
Or just the manual one, which you just press.
Okay.
I think it's like 50, 60 bucks.
Yeah.
That one is also.
That works too.
Yeah, that one works.
Yeah.
Nice.
And talk to me about all your top tips for producing milk with fennel tea, lactation cookies.
So I got lactation cookies. What helps? Oats. So oatmeals in the morning, a lot of water, drinking a lot of water, and fennel tea. So I actually used the fennel tea because he had a lot of gas. So apparently when the mother drinks fennel tea, it helps with the gas. But at the same time, it helps to produce more milk. So only when the lactation consultant came, and I told her, I'm drinking 3 cups of fennel tea every day to help with his gas. And she's like, oh.
Her jaw dropped to the ground.
You're not helping your supply. I mean, it's good you have a lot, but it gives other problems.
Yeah.
So,
and is that the kind of engorgement and the mastitis problem, because it's a vicious cycle?
Yes,
you have to keep pumping.
Cycle, yeah. I thankfully never had mastitis, so I always managed to clear it out when it got hard, but it's a problem for a lot of women who have oversupply.
And you had to just clear it out by pumping? Or
or massaging, hot shower, or the best is him sucking.
Okay, because he likes it.
Because they clear it the best. They have the strongest suck. They're better than any electric pump.
Yeah, of course. They've got it built in.
Yeah.
And your lactation consultant, you'd recommend that to other new mums?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Would you recommend it to everybody, just to get them on the right track?
I think if you have an issue.
Yeah.
If you have an issue. There are mums, it might work, but especially if you're like having problems, or might even consider you want to stop breastfeeding, get a consultant first to help you and get you tips you don't even know. I didn't really know I have such an oversupply, because you can't compare.
That's true. How would you know?
I can't compare. I just thought that's how it is. It just comes shooting out, and
I just love how you describe it.
Yeah.
But that's not normal, or it doesn't have to be normal.
No. So the letdown is normal.
Yes.
But in that amount and that fast is just very strong for me.
Okay. So like if you take off your bra, you don't suddenly get a gush. It's only if it's been...
It's not a gush, but like after 6 hours, if he sleeps and it gets really hard, I take the bra off and it's dripping out.
It's dripping out.
Yeah. And especially it's very strong. It's like this mother, the body is like really like a mother. Like I lean over him, I play with him, I hear him crying, and my boob starts dripping.
And you just know they're leaking,
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why they say when you pump, you should actually watch a video of your child, or hear a video of him crying, because that helps you with the...
So you get a better amount out. Isn't that clever?
Yeah.
And did you ever use anything like cabbage leaves?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm a specialist in everything with oversupply.
Tell me about cabbage leaves.
So cabbage leaf, basically only the first few weeks, because your breasts are just not used to all that sucking and engorgement and all that. So the cabbage leaf help with a bit of inflammation, like having very sore nipples. It just helps to cool it down a bit.
Okay.
And apparently for oversupply, it helps a bit to regulate it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
And any type of cabbage that you recommend? Are we
Supermarket, the cheapest.
The cheapest one? Doesn't need to be like Savoy or any old type?
No, any kind of
And does it need
cabbage.
to go in the freezer?
No, what I do, I have it normally in the fridge or outside, and then I put it in ice cubes. ice cube water.
Okay, and just make
And
it nice and cold.
Put it on,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh.
The cabbage. Okay, I like that. And what about, do you have to wear like cotton wool?
Yeah, breast pads.
That's just
Oh,
your new normal
daily.
now. Yeah, you got.
That's,
and then you have to change them during the day?
Yeah, usually it depends if you're leaking a lot, but every 4 hours roughly you have to change. Yeah.
Gosh, all these new things. Well, you're not going to, you'd forget to wear them once and then you wouldn't ever forget to wear them again.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
Because then you have a wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
Worst case.
And what about like maternity tops? Have you got like ones that you know are good?
I think I now have like 10 maternity bras. I have like 15 maternity tops. I think just a normal top would do as well, that you just pull it up.
Yeah.
But it's just convenient, and you just like
I was
pull
going to
it
say like
to
the one you're
side.
wearing, because it looks like a nice top, but it's very easy for you to then
Correct.
just breastfeed without making it really
Exactly.
obvious.
But I would also wait to see if you can breastfeed, how long you breastfeed, or some women, they prefer to just for outside bring the bottle and feed that one-time bottle when they're outside. But especially for him, sometimes he doesn't eat for 3 hours, sometimes every 45 minutes he wants to eat, so I can't bring so many bottles, so breastfeeding is just easier.
Yeah, you'd just be carrying around even more stuff than you already are.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. You also mentioned you said you're not going to go into too much detail, but when you're doing your nappy change, having a little boy can be a bit more complex than having a little girl.
Yes.
Have you got any top tips for catching the pee or knowing when it's coming? Have you
Put a tissue over the willy.
put a tissue over the... Have you heard of the PPTP?
No, what's that?
PPTP is a little like cone that goes over the willy that captures the wee.
Really? No, I haven't seen that.
It's
But
like
I
a
would-
tissue, but you pay more.
I was about to say it's the same, like
Same
you just
thing.
put a tissue
So,
on it.
okay.
And then you need to clean that thing. Right?
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I've never actually witnessed one. I've just heard about these PPTPs.
Okay. No, it works with the tissue, but I every time forget to put the tissue, so it hits me every time, and then it shoots everywhere. You need to change clothes in the middle of the night. If you're lucky, it's not only his; it's also my clothes. Yeah.
And then you're in that situation where
Yes.
you're all
But-
walking around naked in the middle of the
But
night.
it's not only boys. Actually, also I would guess girls when they poo. Also, the poo comes shooting out.
Oh, of course. And it's yellow.
Yes, and it's liquid, and yeah.
And it happens multiple times a day. So you said 10 nappy changes a day.
10 to 12 nappy changes a day.
Wow. Have you got one of those like diaper genie things?
What is that?
Again, it's something that I don't think is completely necessary, but it's like a bin just for diapers. So you can just put it in and then it like turns it round, and then just once a day or twice a day you have to empty the bin.
No, because the thing is, right now it doesn't smell until they eat solids. So just a normal rubbish bin is currently doing just fine.
I saw them and I thought that's another thing that I could buy, but it's more stuff for the house.
Exactly. Or what also I read a few times, to have a warmer for the tissues, so when you change them at night they don't get the cold wet tissue on their butt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't even have any more space for
More stuff.
such like
No.
luxury. He has to deal with the cold tissue.
Yeah, he lives in a warm country. He'll be all right. What about like sterilizing bottles and things? Do you have to soap and water, or have you got a sterilizer?
I have a sterilizer.
Okay.
So I bought a set with bottle, sterilizer, everything together with a bottle warmer. And first I thought, sterilizer, I can just boil it and it's fine, but it is really helpful.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay.
because I do it like twice a day, even though I don't bottle feed him, but because I'm collecting so much, and
Yeah.
every time I have a different container. So I have once or twice a day, I have to start the sterilizer too.
So I just keep thinking, I'm just going to have so much stuff.
Yeah, in the kitchen, every room
Yeah.
is full with baby stuff at some point.
Yeah, and then of course they just grow out of it so quickly.
Yes.
But one thing is constant, and that's the boobie.
Yeah.
Maybe on that note, I'll put a stop to this video. Thank you so much for
Thank
your honesty.
you.
I'm sure it's going to help lots of people. It's helped me and it's
I
amused
hope
me at the
so.
same time.